what transpired and what occurred that Jimmy Akena ended up in a jury tally center while other things were taking place. The circumstances of a jury were such that I, though in Lira, had actually even gone to bed. What had transpired earlier in the day in Lira City was so disappointing, and I had actually retired very early. So while in bed, I received a call that something fine is going on in Nigeria. I asked my candidates on my team there, do we have the DR forms? They said they were collecting the forms, but they didn't have all of them. I said, when you get all of them, and if the number's okay, let me know, and I shall be there. Eventually, we got all the forms, and we found that we had the advantage. So, while in a situation or in a state where others will be tweeting, I had to now find my way to a jury tally center to protect a win of UPC. I want to make this absolutely clear. I was not looking for anyone, I was not targeting anyone, I was protecting the victory which we had won at the ballot box. What was trying to be done was altering the results at the tally center. And in an election, you imagine an election where I have to be in a tally center to block at the goal line. So everything is finished. We have voted, declaration form is there. But it took the presence of Jimmy Akena in the tally center of a jury, a left-on tally center, to stop a wrong declaration. I went through the whole night battling this. The whole next day battling this. What sort of election were we holding where things can be changed in a tally center? It happened on the 15th in Elector. It continued in Lira City, was a different issue. I'll go on to that one. But when we had the city elections and the district elections, again, I had to go to the tally center in Lira City to stop a wrong declaration. On the 27th, when we actually got the victory in the jury, I had to come back to Lira for the division mayor and the councillors. Again, they were trying to change it at the tally center. So I asked myself, was this an election? Or what can we describe it as? Throughout this period, I came across these assistant RDCs, assistant RCCs, those who are just a menace and a disgrace to anything called democracy. In the case of Lira, they were moving around with thugs, moving with sticks on motorcycles, some of them armed, threatening, calling out our leaders, our candidates, and threatening them. One such leader had gone to the army, saying he was under threat, was given armed escort. On the eve of the city election, that same person is torturing or threatening our councillor or councillor-elect for Lira City, a widow. This man comes there with an armed escort, which he caught on the auspices that he was under threat, and he's threatening the UPC candidates. Do we call this an election? In Lira City, I have never seen the sort of deployment which I saw in this election. I don't know if people saw the footages. You find a single file of maybe 2,000 people, 2 kilometers, walking around the city. But there are things which are happening behind the scenes. I distributed letters for agents on the night before. When you moved around the city, you found these people, of course, the ones on foot on patrol. Then I found 2 company strength units on motorcycles, and plus 2 gangs on motorcycles with sticks and moving around. Some of these were threatening our leaders. Some of the leaders were not in their homes. I distributed, I saw what was on the street, and I knew this did not walk away. Election day, the failure of the PVVK machines left us all in confusion. In Lira City, our agents were chased from the Electoral Commission stores at 6:45 in the morning. In other words, I lost sight of all the voting material at 6:45 in the morning. They did not appear in many of the polling stations until after 2 p.m. As we investigated where they were and what was happening, there were many things we came across, which I must state clearly, my views at the end of an election is the people who must be the winners. And you see it in their attitude, celebration, satisfaction. The process of election, we debate ideas, we debate issues of where the problems of Uganda are or where the issues are. And hopefully it is well expressed at the end. What took place was, at least the mirror, this result of mirror is the army, decision of the army, not the decision of the voters. And in some of these issues, I must thank God. I thank God for small mercies, because I can say this clearly without any fear of contradiction. After what took place in Lagos City, there is no way, anywhere under the sun that Yoweri Museveni can continue talking about Milton Obote and the 1980 elections. It's not possible. You cannot have it on the same plane. You go to that extent of rigging. The army took over the whole place. We don't have any idea where the material was. And this was the excuse for going to the bush. Elections were rigged. Army involvement, honestly. 2026, I think we have cleared that one once and for all. And I hope for all eternity now, we're not going to keep having this story that Obote rigged 1980, Obote rigged 1980. It is nonsense. What we saw in 2026 across board, don't try to bring that one, ever. And this one I must thank the CDF for his rash and careless attitude on handling matters which could be sensitive. He thought he's finishing Akena. He has given Akena a lifeline, and he has put Yoweri Museveni in a position where he will have to get out of this one, but not with the name of Obote. Obote's name must be clean now. We're dealing with this of 2026. Obote was not there. The other issue which I must raise is about the CDF.